I'm recently divorced, been separated for 18 months, and I am really missing my ex-husband immensely. We were together for 5.5 years, married for one. I was the one who initiated the divorce when I found out he wasn't being faithful. And there were a whole host of other issues that were going on between us. But now I am realizing that I was responsible for a lot of it. Long story, but the short of it was I was unhappy with my life, burnt out, and thought the marriage and him were my reasons for my unhappiness. We met when I was in second year med school. We went on a couple of dates, but I cut things off because he was unemployed and got burned in the past by deadbeats. I did date someone as I found out he got back with his ex-GF, but he was a loser and wasn't going anywhere in life. So I broke up with him. Eventually, we messaged each other again, met for a drink downtown, and hit it off. He is amazing in a lot of ways. Cute, passionate, driven, and has a career going for him. He was very attentive. I remember mentioning I wanted to go to a comedy show sometime, and he went and got tickets to the comedy club on our third date. And that's not the only thing he did. On top of that, I was a bigger girl growing up, but I lost a lot of weight. I was at my lightest when I met him at 150 pounds and felt so skinny and amazing. I also had pretty bad anxiety issues, which can make things a challenge. It was amazing to feel wanted by a guy that was decent. Sure, he had some shortfalls, lacked some life experience, and was slowly getting shit together and improving himself. I convinced him to go to the gym with me and work out, and the difference in a few months was massive for him. I felt that if I could guide him, he would be a much better guy. Our relationship certainly had its struggles, as we were long distance for quite some time. Clerkship and residency certainly take its toll on you and the relationship. I'll admit, I was pretty bitchy towards him at times and probably said some things I should not have said. I remember one Christmas I was particularly mean to him, and I still regret it to this day. But he stuck with me the whole way through med school, clerkship, residency. He really supported me financially, emotionally, and physically, and took care of the majority of cooking, household chores, and day-to-day stuff. There really wasn't much he did that was bad outside of the infidelity. He was always there for me whenever I asked him to be. Both my grandmothers passed away within 3 months, and he convinced me to go to their funerals. The worst I can think of was if he did things wrong or was annoying, but that's typical dumb stuff. On top of that, I had some shitty placements, worked with shitty people, and eventually almost didn't even get matched. It was my third last choice, which resulted in us being long distance for 2 years. I gained back the weight I lost, was depressed, jaded, and bitter. I'll admit, I lost some attraction for him when he gained some weight of his own. We got through it, reunited, and got married. It was a perfect wedding, and despite what happened, it was the happiest day of my life. The trouble really came when I was transitioning into being an attending physician because I was so used to being a resident. On top of that, we were getting married in 6 weeks, and I was super stressed about the wedding and still having to plan stuff despite having a wedding planner. I was panicking, and my anxiety reared its ugly head. I went on SSRI meds for around 4 months. My husband offered me to go to therapy through his work seat, but only went to 1 session as I was busy and found it hard to take time off. I felt I didn't have any more time to take him out on dates, and our time at home was spent on opposite ends of the couch watching stupid shows. Our sex life suffered and was pretty vanilla. My libido wasn't the best. He wanted to try new things, and I always said someday, but we never got around to it. On top of that, I was having issues with my vagina and didn't want to do bareback or have him finish in me, which I knew he wasn't happy with. Even going to the gym, something we did together all of the time, became something we were doing separately. I became more withdrawn, cynical, jaded, bitter, and really snappy. A short fuse would best describe it. I blamed him in the marriage for a lot of my unhappiness and my weight gain. I yelled at him a fair amount over now what I see as stupid stuff like leaving a small mess or doing something wrong while driving, like make a wrong turn. I could tell he was putting in so much effort to keep things going, but I wasn't doing the same. I put in effort at times, but it was half-hearted because of my tiredness, anxiety, and mental state. I felt drained having to keep all of those things going. I'll never forget the event that started it all. My 1049's health was slowly declining over the years, and she passed away. I didn't want to go to the wake or the funeral with my husband, as I just finished working a shift the day before and felt tired. My husband was upset but didn't say anything as he went on his own. 2 weeks after her death, I got a message from someone saying that my husband was sleeping with another woman. It happened 4 times over the past year. Turns out, the last time he saw her, it wasn't long after his mom passed away. I confronted him about it, and he definitely wasn't being truthful in the beginning. But eventually he confessed everything one night that he did cheat on me before and after we got married. My world was shattered. I immediately asked for a divorce even though he begged me to stay and said he would change and be fully committed to me. I went to marriage counseling for his sake, but we only went to one session. I was emotionally checked out at that point. Initially, I thought I made the right decision. I thought with me being a high-earning, career-driven woman, and having changed my look and bought new things in life, I thought I wouldn't have any trouble finding another man. I started going old not even 2 weeks after leaving him. It felt weird and embarrassing to be out buying condoms again at 29. Soon, the weight of my decision began hitting me. Dating has been a frustrating experience. Many may encounters ghosting, guys being assholes, and other common things that happen with online dating. I am with someone right now, but I know this won't last long term. I haven't even introduced him to my friends or family, and there's no pics of us on social media. I don't even go out in public with him because I am embarrassed to be with him, and he has nothing going for him. He's merely just to fill a void that I have now that I am not with my husband. A lot of the ideal qualities I want in a man all led back to what my husband is. We haven't had contact since the divorce was final. I have thought about reaching out to my ex-husband and asking to fix things, but I am worried I have damaged our marriage beyond repair. Even though I think I wouldn't have much problem getting him back. He seemed to have moved on. He's now with a nurse, who, I hate to say it, is much prettier and skinnier than I am. I heard he also got a new job and now makes 6 figures. Honestly, if he doesn't come back, I am glad that he is happy, and I am confident that he learned his lesson. Now that I have seen friends cheat, I see what I truly put him through, and quite honestly, I don't blame him for what he did. He wasn't that good of a communicator and had a hard time getting his feelings out. How could he have gotten them out when I admittedly made his issues feel small and little compared to what I was going through? I took him for granted. He did whatever I asked of him. Yet when he wanted something, I was always too tired. There are good people who make mistakes. Found out one of my girlfriends cheated on her husband in a moment of weakness. Worked on shit, he forgave her. And they have been together since. Going on 12 years married, and are doing fine, thanks. He was a part of me for almost 6 years, and I was too selfish and weak to realize it. I would give up everything to be back with him and have that happiness I had when I first met him. Maybe one day I will find someone who makes me happy. Maybe not. What I know is that I was foolish, selfish, and that I was a terrible partner and wife to him. And that not giving him another chance and working things out is a decision that might forever haunt